Well, we know that today at 3 o'clock, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly is having a special announcement that is believed to be tied to the future specifically of the Kansas City Chiefs. We now welcome on and say good morning to Phil Levota. He is the interim Jackson County executive, took over that role a few weeks ago, and he's been busy. He's been largely doing right by the taxpayer, and now he's got to figure out how he can try to keep specifically the Kansas City Chiefs at the Truman Sports Complex. He's joining us on 95.7 FM. Phil, good morning. I mean, it feels like we're at the 11th hour of this thing, but where are you at right now as you sit here on a Monday morning and wait to see what today brings?
Good morning, Pete. I want to make sure what we talk about the 11th hour is Kansas' 11th hour. They're scrambling to put something together with a week left of the Kansas Star Bonds being eligible. The state of Missouri has been working on this for years. I think you had the governor on your show months ago talking about all the things, the partnership between the state of Missouri, Jackson County, Kansas City, and the people of Jackson County. So there's no 11th hour business for us. The Kansas City Star keeps saying this is a last-ditch effort from the county. We've been talking to the Chiefs for months. They know our proposal. We decided just to get out in front of it after the noise of going on with Kansas, and we wanted to talk about it last week. This stuff in Kansas, there's no specifics to it. There's no details. There's no meat. It's just, hey, we got a shiny, bright new stadium. We hope the Chiefs jump on this without looking into the details.
So you don't feel like today is the end? You think today is more of just like a, hey, the Chiefs meet Kansas's deadline. If they go to Kansas, then this is what they would do. But you fully expect Jackson County to be back at the negotiating table in the not-too-distant future.
We're definitely still in the negotiation. Here's what happened. I'll be honest with you. They could show up today and find a deal that is just too good to be true and snap it up. But they could also look at it and say, okay, thank you. Now we have to agree to have an incentive or say we're going to possibly use these funds and enter an agreement to use the fund. Doesn't mean it's done. There are several people in Topeka saying, we can't do this, it's not a good deal. But there are politicians who are running for governor and running for stuff said, we need to sign this up. We need to get this thing done. It helps me politically. I think the people of Kansas are not being served well because they don't know what's going on. They don't know the specifics. And the Star Bonds aren't the greatest thing in the world. The Speedway has not paid off their Star Bonds in 20 years, 25 years. So I would love to see what Kansas is doing, and maybe I'd comment better to say, yeah, that is a good deal for the Chiefs. But no one knows. So this 11th hour for Kansas, trying to get something done in the last week before the Star Bonds expire, they're doing the last-ditch effort. When over here in Jackson County, state of Missouri, we've been open and transparent with the team. We've been talking to them. The team likes our proposals, but of course they're going to listen to Kansas today.
Mm-hmm. So what about, I know that there are some things about Missouri that are not getting enough attention right now, where Missouri can offer the Chiefs upwards of $600 million in federal tax benefits that Kansas structurally cannot match. And my understanding is that some of this is tied to the passing of the big, beautiful bill earlier this year by the Trump administration. What is that?
There are some amazing details that the team has not looked at, and we're sharing with them today about federal tax incentives, federal tax credits, and the possibility of a dome. So we want to make sure the team has everything they need because they're being rushed and they're being pressured. And, that's coming from the team themselves saying, we're getting a hard, aggressive sell here with the last week from Kansas. So there are a lot of things that the Chiefs would lose by moving away from Arrowhead that they haven't considered yet. And those are some of these federal tax incentives, federal tax credits that are only available in Missouri, and Kansas, it's not available.
So are you hoping to get in front of the team with that information before any potential decision comes down today?
They're going to get it. They're going to hear from me. They're going to hear this detailed. I have some letters this morning with some specific details, not just pie in the sky, some actual numbers that are $250 million or $500 million in incentives and credits that are available right now only because of the location of where Arrowhead is. And those will be left on the table if they go to Kansas. So I'm going to make sure the team has it before they walk into any meeting in Topeka.
Okay, so you want those letters. You're going to get those letters to the Chiefs before they get to Topeka today and potentially sit down or will sit down for that meeting. So have you had any conversations of note in the last few days, or has it been relatively quiet for you?
I am on a daily either phone conversation or text string with the Chiefs. And I know what they're going through, and I understand the business of them having to listen to what's going on in Kansas, and I respect it. I don't accept it, but I respect it. And we won't give up in Missouri about pushing the best plan for the Kansas City Chiefs for their future.
Phil Levota is the interim county executive for Jackson County, joining us on 95.7 FM. Of course, there is the big meeting today in Topeka, 3 o'clock, expected to be some kind of an announcement from Kansas Governor Laura Kelly. So what about the fact that the one thing that Kansas does seem to have a leg up over Missouri on is that nothing they do needs to go to a vote of the public, at least nothing statewide with the Star Bond. Who knows if there's a local component on this? But that does seem to be an attractive option at a time when it seems like voters, not just in Jackson County, but we've seen this sort of around the country, there's not a great appetite to give tax dollars to sports teams in this current climate from Republicans or Democrats. And how much do you think Missouri's behind the eight ball when it comes to that part of the equation?
Well, you're exactly right, but two things. Number one, we don't know what happens in Kansas. The Star Bonds would pay for 70% of the funding for the new stadium. The teams and or someone else will have to come up with the funds to finish it up and to maintain it. There's no component and no details about that. Over in Missouri, we do have that. We have the 3/8 sales tax right now that Jackson County or anyone who buys something in Jackson County has been paying for 50 years. And the only component that our issue has before the voters is to reduce that. To reduce it from 3/8 to 1/4 and make it just for the Chiefs. You're so right about the appetite of people wanting to spend tax dollars for stadiums. And that's what I don't think could happen in Kansas. I'm concerned about anything in North Kansas City for the Royals. But in Jackson County, we've been paying it at 3/8. And we're going to reduce it for 1/4. So that's what the voters look at. And I'm confident the people of Jackson County will say, okay, we're lowering taxes and we're keeping the Chiefs for something we're already paying. I think that sells in contrast to bringing a brand new tax issue in front of the voters.
And you want to get that on the ballot as soon as what? April would be your ideal time?
Yep, April would be it.
Okay. And that is something that you would have to vote on as a Jackson County legislature by when?
It could be done next week. It could be done the first week of January. The Jackson County legislature, I've taken the temperature of them, and they're all the biggest Chiefs fans in the world, and they understand keeping the Chiefs is important. The Royals are going to leave, and keeping the Chiefs is important to our community, and we don't want to lose them out at Arrowhead and have an empty stadium, empty sports complex. So they're going to vote on it, and we'll have enough votes in the legislature to get that on the ballot. We'll run a simple, transparent campaign, and it's simple. And we'll tell the voters, here's what we're doing. There's no hiding behind anything. There's no location movement. There's no displaced people. That's what happened 2 years ago. People want to bring up that debacle from 2 years ago. That wasn't not one mention of the Chiefs not being positive. It was the Royals part of it that screwed that up. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants the Chiefs to stay, and that wins. That wins at the ballot box.
Well, you're right. Yeah, that Chiefs were largely collateral damage on that deal 2 years ago. You're right about that. But did I just hear you say, with the Royals leaving, are you acquiescing and basically saying that you feel like the Royals are done in Jackson County no matter what happens here today?
No, not in the least. I'm saying to the contrary. I don't think the people of north of the river want to put on a ballot to tax themselves to increase a new Royal Stadium. And I think in Jackson County, we still can do that and help them keep them in Jackson County. So no, by no means does that mean I'm acquiescing. The Royals need to be in Jackson County too.
Gotcha. Okay. So then, the other thing that it seems like Missouri's behind the eight ball with compared to Kansas is not just lack of a vote on the Kansas side, but also the dome issue. We know that there is an appetite for bigger events, indoor events, whatever that might look like. Do you see a lane, and what potentially is it to give the Chiefs what they might be looking for on that front?
The Chiefs' conversation with us have never been, we need a dome. The dome is a lot of people, we like a dome, the people. If the Kansas City Chiefs want to put a dome over Arrowhead, we're going to listen, we're going to help them. And some of these tax credits and incentives, there's up to $250 million that we can get for them to heat it. Because what we're thinking about in Kansas, they didn't think about. They have to air condition and heat that thing. And there's no money in Star Bonds for that. So that millions and millions of dollars every month and every year to do that is something that is not on the table. So I guess my point is if the Kansas City Chiefs want to put a dome at Arrowhead, we're on board to fix our proposal and address that.
Mm-hmm. All right, Phil Levota, last thing, just, you're sitting here on a Monday morning. Everyone's kind of waiting to see what the day brings. How are you feeling? As much as you just walked into this big situation, this is no reflection on you, but you stepped into this a few weeks ago. How are you feeling right now?
This is big generational decisions from the state of Missouri and the state of Kansas, and they don't happen quickly. And something can happen today that could be changed within a couple days. So I don't think anything's done today. I think we're going to hear that the Chiefs have looked and listened, and then hopefully we'll have some specifics from it. So I can't really answer that until we get some transparency out of the Kansas government and tell us what's going on with it. So I'm still hopeful. I still believe that when I talk to the Chiefs, they're open with me. They're honest with me. I understand they're going to look at everything as business, but I still think that Jackson County's been their home for so long. Arrowhead Stadium is the most iconic stadium in all of professional sports, and I think that weighs heavy on them and the fan base of leaving. So I'm still confident that we still have the ability to keep them at Arrowhead. All
right. Phil Levota, he is the interim Jackson County executive on KCMO. Phil, always appreciate your time on KCMO Talk Radio. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Pete.
All right. There you go. Phil Levota on 95.7 FM.